What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here. So here I have a commentary on my solo Lake of Shadows GM run. I'm running Threaded Spectre and Whirling Maelstrom, and those are for specific reasons that I'll get into. And then I've got Lucky Pants with a God Rolls Warden's Law, and the Indebted Kindness sidearm for anti-barrier sidearm, and the Queen Breaker. So this is a very unusual loadout, but we can see right off the rip, Queen Breaker blinds those guys. And blinding is very, very handy for the Tormentor and for the Knights in the boss room. So that is why I'm running Queen Breaker. It's extremely weak. Arc is not a surge. Linear fusions don't benefit. So yeah, it does like no damage. You can see it's not even breaking this guy's shield. But this hand cannon with Lucky Pants luckily hits like a heavy, and it has infinite ammo. So yeah, I tried running this with Xenophage, and that was extremely good. Xeno is awesome for taking out the Threshers. Super, super quick. Probably the quickest thing you can use. So, and I love Xenophage. But I kept dying on the... there I was annoyed because I made that Maelstrom and I wanted it over there where all the ads are, but the explosion from my sidearm blew it up. So I shackle that guy and make a new one, and we shoot that. So yeah, Maelstrom does a ton of ad clear, which we need because I also ran this with Malfeasance and a machine gun, and that was very, very good. I was using Commemoration because Overload Machine Gun is on this strike, so even though it's void and it's not part of like Overload Anti-Barrier or whatever, machine guns would still deal 25% more damage. And there's quite a few ads, so machine guns are really nice here. Like if you're in a team, one guy on a machine gun for sure would be great. But again, I'm using my hand cannon like a heavy, so for like taking out champions, and then I pretty much use the sidearm for my ad clear, that and Whirling Maelstrom, and it works great. So here I'm just blinding the enemies, and it works really good. So Queen Breaker can also stun Unstoppables. I don't know if I show it too much, just at the Thresher part I think, but yeah, because blinding works on Unstoppables. And I wish there was more things like Wendigo which had blinding grenades, because as far as I know, Queen Breaker is the only weapon with like intrinsic blinding, because disorienting grenades aren't blinding. Like blinding is an arc subclass verb. And so yeah, that is why I had to run Queen Breaker, which takes up my exotic slot. Otherwise, I probably would have went with Malfeasance with this build. But this Warden's Law is amazing. It's got Enlightened Action and Vorpal Weapon, plus a major spec. Or maybe I put Taken Spec on, I can't even remember now. But it works great. So real quickly, I'm just going to rewind and stop talking about the build for a sec. So I leave that Phalanx up because once you kill this Phalanx, that spawns that big Taken wave. And then this Unstoppable that spawns, if we leave him up, once you kill all of these Cabal, including the Unstoppable, that will spawn a Taken wave, which you'll see when this ship detonates. So we don't want to do that. This is just a time save, not so much a cheese. It's literally just to save time. So we leave this guy up, we take out all the other ads, and we just stay in our super, get the splinter to the end and detonate it, and then that's going to kill the champion for us, so we'll still get platinum. And you'll see when it explodes, these enemies actually spawn in, but then they all just die because we go to the next part. So normally I use that explosion to get a little boost of momentum just to save time. But I wanted to look for special because I only have 24 shots, and like I said, this is pretty much my main ad clear. Also, if I were to kill that Phalanx right now, that would spawn in those Taken, I believe. Maybe not once the pyramid's been exploded, but yeah. So I'm just looking for special here because you want to keep your reserves up, because like I said, that is pretty much, I basically just use this sidearm for ad clear. Occasionally the hand cannon. But yeah, Queen Breaker doesn't do anything. I brought it literally for utility. You'll see it just makes a joke of the Tormentor. And like I said, I just kept getting one shot by the Tormentor. It was getting really annoying. Like I'd be on the very final gate, like be shooting his chest, and for some reason your shackle grenades just like phase through the Tormentor half the time. So that's actually what was killing me, was I would throw it expecting it to be shackled, like I didn't miss the grenade, and then it wouldn't be shackled, and then I would die. And it was just so freaking inconsistent. And yeah, like that was when I was using Xenophage, and Xenophage would be really nice in the boss room as well over Queenbreaker. And it's got really good ammo economy actually. I was running Solar Scavenger and it was excellent on ammo, and like I said, it's awesome for the Threshers. So here, once all the Cabal are dead, it's going to spawn in the Taken. I really like this room. It's extremely safe for taking out those Taken. And so we just bait the Unstoppable in here. Now we have a Tangle, which is really nice. So I'm going to try to utilize it right away. So I take them out, and now here come the Taken. So that Maelstrom's going to do some work. I always just work my way kind of left to right. And try to take out stuff before it gets immuned by all these goblins. So I shot one Queenbreaker, hoping there might be a few adds around to blind, but there wasn't really. And then the Maelstrom's doing work, and I put in some work with the Lucky Pants hand cannon. So yeah, we just chip away at these adds. So big thing with this new revamped Lake of Shadows is just learning enemy spawns and kind of how it all works, which I guess you could say that's for any GM, especially a solo GM. But yeah, this Nightfall is extremely annoying to run solo because the Meatball has so much health, and then like I said, the Tormentor solo, it just takes one shot. Like, he can one-shot you, and that's when I realized, like, this is why I like running GMs now as opposed to before the resilience changes. I'll get back to that in a second. But yeah, so these meatballs spawn, or those cannonballs, whatever the heck, not meatballs. And yeah, you want to get the one with the Shadow Legionary guy. It's unpredictable. So that's why I wait until I can see. I don't just blindly throw my shackle grenade, because sometimes it might just be that lone phalanx and then you wasted your grenade. So before I was running Widow's Silk or whatever, I think that's what it's called, that gives you 2 grenade charges. So this was really nice because I would have another grenade charge ready for those phalanxes up there. But I swapped to Threaded Spectre for the boss room. And then, so here, the reason I don't just go finish this guy, I don't know if it makes a difference, but I do have Heavy Ammo Finder on. So I wanted to kill him with my primary, because I was also hoping to get like either a heavy brick or a special brick, but I didn't get anything. So now my grenade is recharged. I have Thread of Generation, so I get more grenade energy when I deal damage. So you can get your shackle grenades fairly frequently. So shackles are amazing for those damn phalanxes because anti-barrier sidearm doesn't go through their shield like it should, which is really frustrating. So here I blind a few of these guys, and then I just go in with my hand cannon. Again, the blind is really nice because their little orbs that they spawn and crap are just really annoying. And then you gotta shoot them down, and that wastes ammo. And yeah, unfortunately, there's one goblin still up. So once we get them dealt with, taking some damage there. But yeah, so once all those Cabal are dead, that's what spawns in the Taken. And sometimes one of the Cabal will like run to the back. So if they haven't spawned in yet, you're going to have to go kill him, but make sure you get to a safe spot because as soon as he dies, that spawns in these these Centurions. So of course, enemies just warping all over, making me miss a couple shots. I talk about it in my other commentaries, but the enemy like warping and stuff this season has been freaking god awful, at least for me. I kind of forgot about that Scorpius on the right because oftentimes my Maelstrom takes it out. And then here, I didn't realize I had ran out of the space of the pyramid ship. I thought it was coming up behind me, but it wasn't. So I proc a melee off this, make sure all my guns are reloaded for the next part. So unfortunately, the pyramid was a long way back. My Tangle does last just long enough to use it on these adds that spawn, but I kind of messed that up. Normally, I wouldn't have killed that guy till the Splinter. So at 63 is when they spawn in. So I have to throw my thing a little before they're going to spawn, but it lasts a little while. And then here you really want to super, because I think the ground gets blighted or whatever, so it's going to deal damage to you. and all those goblins make the knights immune, and taken knights are a bitch. Like, even in my super, look how much damage they're dealing to me. Yeah, so definitely recommend saving a super for that part. That's why I didn't use it on any of the other parts, because it's just easy to plink away at those Centurions from afar and safely, where with those guys, yeah, it's hard to deal with, especially when they're all immune. But supers go through the immunity. So here, the reason I shackle those dogs is because I want to make a Maelstrom, and then we just go in with the Lucky Pants hand cannon, and it deals with those normally tanky gladiators like nothing. And then here I'm just showing off how good Threaded Spectre works. Does some damage to that gladiator. Now I'm gonna proc Lucky Pants and try to get the other ones down. So there, all the ads are dealt with. Now we're just gonna, it's easy to deal with barriers once like nothing's around. I'm gonna get it to proc its thing and then just go in with Lucky Pants. And then we have the Meatball. So I've beat this Meatball countless times as I was trying to beat this, because like I said, I kept dying to the Tormentor until I put on Queenbreaker. So I make sure all my stuff's loaded, and at like 1 second I go progress it, because you can get the most damage in right at the start. He doesn't shoot you right away, so you can get like a whole clip in. But then after this, he kind of shoots in like waves of 5. Not all the time, because he has to like have a line of sight on you kind of, but he does. So right like after the 4th shot, you want to be busting out your hand cannon so that you can get ready. See there, he only shot 2. So now he shoots 3, but normally like when he shoots 5 on that 5th shot, that's when you want to start dealing damage, because then he's going to pause for just a second and then load up to shoot his little shots again. And they have extremely aggressive tracking, and they'll 2-shot you. So like there, see, I can survive 1, and I don't have any void resist. I have double arc resist for the boss room. So once you get to 1/3 health gate, the enemies are going to spawn in. So that's why I have my super at the ready. And then I just kind of run to the middle to hopefully like get them all up. I also have Thread of Binding on, I think it's called, which suspends enemies that you kill with your super. So that's how that wizard got suspended, and then I killed it. Luckily, we also made a Maelstrom, so that's dealing some damage over time to this boss. And he's looking where I just was. See, like there, like I said, that's some aggressive tracking. I thought it would have hit the bus or whatever, but it didn't. And yeah, so once I'm out of luck from the Lucky Pants swap, I just deal a bunch of damage with my sidearm. And I have Deconstruct, so after so many shots, I can actually get 2 ammo back. So this one is extremely good on ammo. Like, people might think bolt shot's the way to go. Maybe with Impulse Amplifier, because you have fast reload, but I don't have Impulse Amplifier. So I really like this roll, actually. Beacon Rounds and Deconstruct. So at exactly half health, he spawns those things. And you can see we can take them out super easily just with our 1 shot of our sidearm. And now in the second part of the phase, he spawns those things in. So there again, like, that was some aggressive tracking. I thought it was heading for the bus, and I jump up and it just freaking like jumps right over. And then we're getting some taken on the ground, which is really annoying. So I can't regen. So yeah, everything about this strike is just very annoying. So here I'm watching my ammo, and I'm just waiting till I hit 6. So that allows me to deal the max damage. And then I still have, it's 6 shots, but it's a 2 burst. So I still have 3 shots to take out each one of those little booper things that he shoots. So he does that weird little wavy thing. And then he throws those things out. But that's a good time to get in damage, because when he's throwing those things out, he's not shooting the purple balls at you. So if you're slower, you'll have a super for the second ad wave, but I don't. And again, I was so sick of running this strike, so I could be more aggressive and try to shackle a wizard, take it out, spawn a Maelstrom, and just deal with the ads there. And I've done it. It's not super difficult, but I was just so over it, so I was like, no, I'm just playing extra safe here. Like, what's a tiny little time loss? So unfortunately, I was trying to shoot my friggin' Maelstrom, Just so freaking annoying. So you only deal impact damage, not explosion damage, or else vice versa on this sidearm. So it can't even one-shot those little balls. And then I really wanted to shoot my Maelstrom to deal with the ads. So there's where Queen Breaker is nice. So I shackled that first wizard so that I could make a Maelstrom, even though I wasn't able to shoot it because he shot out those little light thingies. And then, yeah, there again, I'm trying to proc a Maelstrom, but no luck. Like, look at that tracking. Oh, I fucking hate this Meatball. I don't like this strike in general. Like, it's a shitty rework, especially for solos. I'm using Lucky Pants. If you use, or like Quicksilver Storm would also be good because it's a primary that can deal lots of damage. Maybe like something like Osteostriga, even though you couldn't really use it this season. But like, you need a high damage primary. I guess Revision Zero and Polaris Lance as well. If you don't have something like that, and Wish Ender. So I guess there are some high damage primaries. Like Outbreak wouldn't even be that good because you can't keep sustained damage really. That's where Quicksilver Storm would be so nice. You can just shoot off 3 grenades that deal big damage. But if you don't have something like that, or Celestial Nighthawk obviously, this boss is going to take forever, especially solo. Because he's got way too much fucking health. He has more health than Nezarec. Like, I don't know for sure, but I would bet. Because, my god, is this guy tanky. And it's just unnecessary. Like, he should have half the health that he does. Like I said, it's just seriously completely unnecessary. So here we're just kind of avoiding line of sight. And I talk about, like, the 5th shot. That's when you want to start dealing your damage. So that's what I do. Then I watch till I'm down to 6, and then I shoot those things. So now he's shooting his 5 shots, but I don't have luck yet. And then I know I have some heavy on the ground, so I'm like, oh, well, might as well use some Queen Breaker. So you can't blind bosses, and this guy's a boss, and the final boss is obviously a boss. But you can blind... I don't think you can blind champions either. But like I said, it does work to stun unstops. But you can blind a Tormentor, so that's where it's really nice. So again, I'm using probably the highest damaging primary you can with Lucky Pants. And he still took, I don't know, that long. But that guy will be a slog if you don't have something like that. So here, I'm just going to look for ammo. But yeah, Bungie, I know you wouldn't be watching this video, but tone down that guy's health. It's outrageous. In a fire team, it's not so bad. But yeah, like you can't just heavy your way through that. You're just going to waste all your heavy. So yeah, very, very annoying. Solar would be better because you can like proc Radiant. So you're going to be dealing more damage. And so that would be helpful. And you have Revitalizing Blast this season for 15%. And yeah, so Solar would be really good. I just wanted to use something different. You got Restoration, which would be great in the boss room with like that blight on the ground and whatever else. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of how you deal with that Meatball. You just kind of avoid line of sight. And if you're stepping on the miasma, you can just rotate around to not step on it. So here, I just want to take out an ad quick and proc my Maelstrom. And then the Shadow Guard moves over, which is good. And then here I get super unlucky because he shot that mine and I should have retreated. But I was afraid it would blow up on me. So then I had to wait in the hallway for a bit and then I was getting shot. But yeah. And then the ads go downstairs. So I like to use my super here actually for the second set of ads. Just because, I don't know. It's just where I like to use my super because there's no real good spot to use it otherwise. So that unstop hides right around the corner, like you can't even see him. I baited him out. And now we have our super, so I'm going to use it here. And I almost had enough super. I was thinking of going downstairs. And there I actually left my special on the ground because you really need special for this next part because the Threshers are so tanky. Again, Xenophage was awesome, but I obviously don't have that, so I had to rely on my sidearm. So there, again, I was so sick of running this, so I'm like, no, I'm just going to play it safe. Because here's how I usually do this part anyways. It's just all those ads went down super easily with that super. But yeah, you just shackle them, shoot your Maelstrom, and then just kind of take what the enemies give you. So I'm just going to keep the barrier stunned, and then I'll deal with the other ads. But oftentimes, I take out the big ad first because he hits really hard. And again, I don't have Void or Concussive Dampener on. I just have double Arc Resist, I believe. Maybe I have one Concussive Dampener, but no Void Resist. So now we use our super powerful hand cannon and try to get in some shots, but he's moving like a freak. And then this next part, so yeah, there, again, I was saving that special up top because I have Arc Scavenger on because, oh yeah, there I get booped. Don't jump where the blights are, that could have cost me. So I get like 15 from that brick. I think I got as much as 17. So yeah, this sidearm is super ammo efficient. And yeah, so I've got Arc Scav because it works with both my weapons. And then there I was just making sure my hand cannon was full. It was. So normally I can shackle both these guys, but they were kind of not lined up together this time for whatever reason. And then he actually pushes me. So this just turned into a whole mess. So here I blind him, but then they kind of look away from you when they're blinded. So see, he's looking away. So what I should have done was rotated out and actually shot his back, because the back on Cabal does more crit damage even. So this is what sucks. I don't have 2 nades, so I can't suspend the second guy. So I'm just waiting on a nade because seriously, these fucking shields are so terrible on these phalanxes. And for some reason, the sidearm, because it's a projectile, it like doesn't go through it normally. Like there it kind of is. I don't know. It works really weird and really inconsistent. And they hit pretty hard. Like you could see, I only took a few shots and I was like pretty low health. So then I see he's blinded and I'm like, oh, maybe I got a chance here. So luckily I was able to get him out. But yeah, normally I just shackle them both, get them both down. Then I can use that Maelstrom on the ads. Not even immediately to my left, but on those phalanxes. So here I proc a Maelstrom. That's going to take out that other phalanx. We got to watch for those Scions down there because they will snipe you from afar. And then we got Scions immediately on our left as well. So I'm just going to try to take everything out. So my Tangle cooldown's done. So what I want to do is make a Tangle on the... Yeah, so there I freaking missed. This is so ugly. So normally I would have made a Tangle there, but he ran right by me. I thought he was going to come up and melee me. And then I would throw it at the Scions that are further down. But now we got that Thresher spawning in. So I think they shoot 5 missiles. So I would always just wait to hear 5 bangs on the wall. So if you just listen to your sound cues, you can hear it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I dip back out. So you can kind of dip out on like the 5th one. And again, these have really aggressive tracking as well. Like they can damn near track you through the wall if you hang in here too long. So just get your pot shots in. Just go back and forth, back and forth. Eventually it'll die. This sidearm is really good. Like I said, Xeno's the GOAT for taking those out. But this sidearm's awesome. And now I see I have 2 heavy bricks there. A finder brick and a regular brick. So I want to hold them. Because you can actually utilize some Queen Breaker on those ads at the far end. But yeah, I'll get to that in a second. So here, I'm just waiting for my out of luck timer. Take that guy out. And now we have these other Scions. I'm looking for special. He didn't drop any. So this really sucks. Normally I have more special here for this next Thresher. So there's the Thresher. I think once you push up to a certain point, it spawns in. But I do have those heavy bricks. Remember those bricks, because right now, when he shoots those missiles, I think it knocks my bricks off the edge because they wind up disappearing. Which was super unfortunate, because I pretty much use all my ammo on this guy. So if you stand far enough back, see, like, the reason he was shooting at me before was because he saw me when I was up closer. But if you stand far enough back, like I am here, this Thresher doesn't even shoot you. So here, I waste a bunch of heavy, because I know I have a regular brick and a finder brick, which would be like 8, roughly. 7 or 8 shots, maybe 9. It's kind of inconsistent. I've got as little as 1, even with an Arc Scavenger. So it's sort of inconsistent. There, I didn't realize I had special on the ground. And then I'm like, what the hell, man? Where'd my heavy go? I think it was there. Was it on a different ledge? What's going on? But yeah. Once I watched it back, I realized it probably got knocked off the edge when that Thresher shot its missiles. So that was extremely unfortunate because we need Queenbreaker not for any other part in this strike, but for the Tormentor and for the boss room. So I was really freaking disappointed that it was gone. So here, I want to make a tangle. Got to be careful because I don't know how many Scions are still up, so that's why I run up here just to check, because they do like to hide around corners. And then on my left is some adds, some phalanxes or something. So this Maelstrom deals with them very well. They can be difficult to deal with just because they're in such a goofy spot. Actually, never mind. I throw it at those guys. I should have thrown it to my left to take out those phalanxes. But yeah, so you can see it's damaging them now. It went up to them, which is good. See, esteemed phalanx. And the other one is pretty much dead. So yeah, that Maelstrom did a lot of work. Oh, that's right. I threw it down low because I didn't have a shackle grenade yet. So normally that's what I do is I shackle that guy and then just hand cannon him. And then that's going to make a tangle, and we're staying just out of line of sight of that other guy that's shooting us. And then normally I would go back and I would shoot with Queenbreaker and just take them out carefully. But I had used so much ammo and I know I need it for the Tormentor room. So I decided to just pop a super here because you don't really use your super in any other spot leading up to the Tormentor, or at least I hadn't been in my other runs. So I decided to just pop it and take out those last couple adds, and then again, Threat of Binding, if that unstop had been on top of the other ad, he actually would have got suspended and I could have taken him out with my super, but the ads weren't grouped up the right way. That's just RNG. So it was what it was. And here, this guy pushes us all the way, which isn't a bad thing. You can just retreat, retreat, retreat. I'm waiting for my luck timer. There it is, just on cue. And then we take this guy out nice and easy. So here is where you can do one skip. I actually almost die. I was just too close to that phalanx. Because whatever. But yeah, that's where you can jump up to go to the boss room. But I really wanted to do a no cheese run because I feel like everyone cheeses this strike. And it's not necessary, especially in a fire team. It's actually easier if you don't. It's quicker if you don't. You just need guys that know what the hell they're doing and don't suck. But I digress. So anyway, here, I don't know why I reloaded there. But yeah, I should have popped that barrier shield just a bit quicker. But we still get the kill with our super powerful hand cannon. So yeah, I can't stress enough how great Lucky Pants is for this, especially with running Queenbreaker, because it hits like a heavy, but has infinite ammo. So here I get lucky, I get 2 bricks, thank God, because I want at least 10 shots going into that Tormentor room. And then, again, normally, when I was running this, when I had Widow's Silk, I'd have 2 grenades, so I would have grenaded those guys, made a Maelstrom, and taken out all these adds like with the Maelstrom and from the front of the room. But again, I'm not using my super anywhere, and it's not required against the Tormentor, because it's not even good against Tormentors, but also you'll see how easily we deal with the Tormentor. So I decided to just pop my super there, because why the hell not? And then there, I didn't have my hand cannon loaded, so I quickly switched. And what the hell is up with that barrier? I pop his shield, and 2 seconds later, he's shielding again. So I don't know what that was. But anyway, this time I actually have my hand cannon reloaded. And then we take him out. So just a small mistake, but not a big deal. So you want full special and ideally full heavy going into this room, but I only had 10 shots. And I've got some special outside because we're going to use our... So I'm just making sure my hand cannon's reloaded because that's crucial for taking out his shoulders right away. And then you want lots of sidearm ammo for the little acolytes that spawn. So what we do is we blind him right away. I missed my first shot, which is not ideal because I'm actually lower on heavy than I had ever been in any of my other runs. And then we, once we hit a health gate there, so once we take out one shoulder, those guys will spawn. Then I'm just keeping him blinded. Luckily, I got a heavy brick there, so that was clutch. So now I shackle him. because more acolytes are spawning, and I can't re-proc blinding because his chest was up and I had no look at his chest. That's why I used the shackle grenade there instead of just re-blinding. So here I'm just keeping him blinded, just keep refreshing it, so I'm taking no chances. So get a quick blind off before I shoot the acolytes. And now I'm reloading everything. Blind again, take out the acolytes. So again, this is a big time save. So for all the time you lose not having a machine gun or not having like a useful heavy, you gain big time on that Tormentor. Like I could have finished him. You can finish those Tormentors. So there, I had got a brick earlier and that took me up to like, I don't know how much ammo it gave me. And then I got a brick at the end. So I got super lucky in that boss room. I got 2 bricks and I still only have 12 shots. So I would have used up like all 10 of my shots on that Tormentor there. But you can see just how easy that room was with Queen Breaker. So even if you're in a fire team, it's not the worst thing to run, but you can also run disorienting grenades. They basically do the exact same thing, but I couldn't with this loadout because I need a hand cannon. I need a sidearm for anti-barrier because I'm not running like a radiant build. And then there I get another heavy brick. And when that happened, I was like, oh yeah, this is the run. Like things are lining up. Just got 3 heavy bricks right before boss room. So I'm actually going in with like full ammo and then another heavy brick. So if you don't know, that's kind of how this game works. You'll get like heavy waves. And if you know you're in one, just start slaying on ads because the more ads you kill, like the more heavy you'll get. Like in solo dungeons and stuff, especially like Ghost of the Deep where ammo is like actually a concern. So here I'm going back for sidearm ammo because I just expended 14 shots. And again, I was taking no chances on this run. I was sick of running this GM because I just kept dying to BS. Even though once I switched to Threaded Spectre off Widow's Silk, I think I got it first try. So you'll see how good Threaded Spectre is in the boss room. So I had purposely left these bricks back here. There I pick up my 14 ammo. And again, what's a 1 minute time loss to go run back and make sure you have full ammo? Because you go through way more sidearm ammo in the boss room than you think. I shoot those little crystal things that spawn the blight. Here I'm making sure all my weapons are reloaded. So I shoot all those all the time with my sidearm because it can one-shot them. So yeah, you go through special ammo a lot. So if you're in a hard solo GM, I definitely recommend like being aware of your ammo economy. So I made a guide on how to do this boss room legit, but I'll still talk our way through it. So there's 1 health gate at the start. It's only about like 20% of his very first health bar. Like he's got 3 health bars above his head. So it's like 20% of that. And then we get a Scion spawn and a Knight spawn. So you can see how great Queen Breaker was for blinding that Knight, because normally that is your biggest threat. Like the Scions are too, because they'll multiply and crap. So I took them out quickly with my shackle grenade. But that Knight, he messes stuff up. So that was really textbook how I dealt with that. And it allowed me to keep my super up. I try to keep my super for if I get caught in a bad situation. Don't pop it unless you have to. Again, this is for solo. For teams, it'd be a way different strategy. You could get both Scion spawns off the rip. So you could see his health bar there. It was like, well, you can see the one on the bottom, but I go off the one on the head because it's more accurate. And I always like to, so where I was just standing, I always like to spawn there to take out those crystals. So when he shields, just stop shooting, and then he puts his shield down. If you keep shooting, he just keeps his shield up. So that's how you deal with that. Just stop, and then you can resume. Like you could see, I got in way more damage after like just stopping for 1 or 2 seconds. So there, my Threaded Spectre actually spawned in the ads before I was ready, which was extremely unfortunate. And then I get hit by that blight that's behind me. So then I just pop super. So the Threaded Spectre that I spawned, when it dies, it spawns its threadlings. And I think those threadlings push the boss to its next health gate. So what I wanted to do was wait it out and shoot those crystals, and then I was going to spawn it. So it happened before I was ready, unfortunately, because I can't control my Threaded Spectre dealing damage. And it was that close to the health gate. So yeah, just extremely unfortunate. But again, like I said, that is why we have a super. But you never want those crystals up when you're dealing with the ads, because they blight the floor and then you can't regen your health or hide for safety, other than in the very middle of the arena. But then you're just going to die to ads. So here I was scrambling a little bit, not in the best position for taking these out, but you do have some time. So these crystals are on a 40-second timer. So like I was saying, I was going to wait for those crystals before I was going to deal boss damage again, shoot the crystals quickly, and then I was going to deal boss damage to spawn in that next wave of ads. But the Threaded Spectre pushed it. But anyway, luckily there's only 2 sets of Scion ads, and I find the Scions to be the hardest. So there I was just going to collect ammo. Because I have downtime. Again, I'm waiting 40 seconds. So I had just taken out the crystals. Then I did an ammo run. Now I'm in the spot that I like to shoot them. Bang, bang. Don't know what the hell I'm doing. And then, yeah, shoot the other 2. So we shoot them before the blight's dealing any damage to us. And now we can do damage again because we have another 40 seconds before we're going to have blight on us. So that's what you want to do. You want to take them out as quickly as possible, because in 40 seconds they're spawning again. It's not 40 seconds from when you take out the crystals. It's 40 seconds from when they first spawn. So here we are done with the first third of his health. So now he starts throwing out that like immunity totem thing, and we get a spawn of Thrall. So I use my melee on the Thrall to make a very easy Maelstrom. And again, like I said, that 40 seconds goes extremely quickly. But I'm in my spot to shoot the crystals. I had blinded that knight, so he wasn't a threat. My Maelstrom was taking out the Thrall. And then if I did get in a pinch, I could just Threaded Spectre to kind of get away. But that is why you want to be in a good spot to shoot out those crystals as fast as possible. Again, that 40 seconds goes very quickly because you have to deal boss damage in that time to bring in the next ads. And that's where the Lucky Pants is really nice, because depending what you're using, you don't know if you're going to hit those health gates in time. Because solo, he can be somewhat tanky. Like, he's not a very tanky boss, but to hit his health gates solo, you want to do it like... You want to hit the gate when you know it's going to hit. So I know it hasn't hit yet, but again, I pretty much just do 1 set of DPS for every time I take out the crystals. So it's like, take out crystals, do DPS. Take out crystals, do DPS. That way, if the gate does happen, I know I'm not going to get a spawn of ads and then have crystals pop up like right away. I know I have like at least 30 seconds. So again, take them out from the spot that I like to shoot them. So you can get like a light and dark room here. The light room is way easier to see that far crystal, like the one that's across the room from me right now. It can be really hard to see if it's the dark room. I don't know what triggers, if it's just random, but luckily I had the light room for this run. So there, I'm over half on his bottom health bar and it didn't spawn, which I was expecting it to. That's why I was a little annoyed. So now I'm just going to regroup, shoot the crystals. I wasn't in the best spot here. I should have rotated to the right faster. But we take them out. And now I'm going to deal damage again. So yeah, there. You can see I just got tethered briefly. I think that'll take you out of your super too. So this time we do hit the health gate. I blind that knight. I had done my dodge to distract the guys. The Thrall. Made a Maelstrom quickly. That's why I used my Shackle Grenade. Because you'll make a Tangle anytime you kill an enemy that's affected by any strand debuff. So they were my immediate priority because that knight was blinded. So now I just want to take out the knight quickly before dealing with this. Because if the ads are dead, the blight isn't the end of the world. It's when you're getting shot at that it becomes a real problem, because every time your feet hit the ground, you're not going to be able to regen health, so you can't really outrun the damage that's being dealt to you by the ads. So yeah, I took out those Thrall quickly, I blinded the knight, and then I wanted to make sure that knight was dead. and then we take those things out. So there, I pushed it a little fast because I got mixed up on how the health gates work. So I wasn't quite ready for that ad wave. I thought it was kind of like the other ones where it's like 20% and 60% of the health bar, but you actually get a third wave kind of right at the start of his health bar. So luckily I get those ads down just before the crystals spawn. So that could have been bad, but again, I have a super in case things had gotten really hairy. So I took that knight down immediately, and now we get goblin spawns. So once we're on that third health bar above his head, we get a goblin spawn. And then this is the only spawn that's not health gated. Like this one is, but there's going to be another spawn of goblins 40 seconds after those crystals first popped out. So pretty much as soon as I get this knight down, I'm getting more goblins, even though I didn't do like any damage to the boss. So see, the crystals are up. Or maybe it's 40 seconds after that crystal wave. I can't quite remember. But anyway, these... Oh, here come the goblins. I could hear them spawn. Yeah, so there they are. So you don't have much time at all. Again, I wasn't dealing damage to the boss and it spawned them in. So you get that first wave of goblins with a knight, and then you just get this small wave of goblins, which aren't really a threat, but what's a threat is they spawn at the same time as those crystals. So that's where you're going to run into trouble because you're trying to deal with the crystals and those goblins can be shooting at you and the boss. So there, I deal a little bit of damage. We get another crystal spawn. Now I make sure all my guns are reloaded. I bait the boss over here, and now we're just going to finish it up. I don't think any ads spawn, but maybe over time more will spawn in, but I pretty much just take them out right here. I get a really good Lucky Pants phase off, and then we're just going to super. So again, I was saving my super for like a scary scenario, but it didn't really come to fruition because Queen Breaker was working so good. And yeah, I was focused and just had a really good build for dealing with the boss room with the Threaded Spectre and the Maelstroms, and yeah, just allows you to deal with lots of things at once and gives you time. That's the big thing. But anyways, thanks for watching. Like and sub if you enjoyed, and take care.